Hello and welcome. You're watching UTV Live at 6.
Good evening. These are the stories making the headlines.
2 dissident Republican terrorists are jailed for targeting a retired police officer.
A coroner describes the devastation of road deaths and the families he meets who will never be the same again.
Maybe you'd like to explain that to the family of the person that you've killed, why you had to look up Facebook, why you had to check that WhatsApp, because that is the situation you might end up in.
UTV can reveal the Chief Constable sacked a senior police officer who was double jobbing with the ICRIR.
Also tonight, we've got Christmas magic with the amazing choir from Parkview Special School.
Jacob Stockdale's aiming to deliver a festive present for Ulster fans with a statement win against Leinster.
And our weather set to stay rather changeable over the next couple of days with spells of rain and some brisk blustery winds. I'll have all of the details later in the programme.
Two dissident Republican terrorists who targeted a retired police officer have both been sentenced to over 10 years in jail. The pair used a wildlife camera to monitor the former policeman to set up an attack on his life.
The judge said the crimes were committed in pursuit of violent republicanism and neither had shown any remorse for their actions. I was in Belfast Crown Court earlier for the sentencing hearing. 56-year-old Damien Duffy from West Clare Court in Dungannon and Shay Reynolds, who's 31, from Kilwilkie Road in Lurgan, were convicted of 6 joint offences committed over 9 years ago. Duffy was handed a sentence of 12 years and 6 months in prison with an extended licence period of 5 years. And Reynolds got 11.5 years, also with an extended licence of 5 years. Judge Patricia Smith said the specific targeting of a retired police officer is a very grave matter. This involved a well-researched plan to obtain information to enable an attack upon his life, which was only foiled by the police. The nature and the harm to which the offending was directed was to endanger life. During the trial, it emerged that in September 2016, both men drove from Lurgan to Coal Island, where they deployed a wildlife camera in the driveway of the home of a retired police officer. The following morning, he spotted the item and contacted the PSNI, who replaced the camera with a dummy. Duffy and Reynolds then returned to the scene around a week later and removed what was now a dummy camera. During today's sentencing, Judge Smith said neither defendant has accepted responsibility for these offences. Deeming both to be dangerous offenders, she imposed extended custodial sentences necessary, she said, to protect the public. The police revealed this wasn't the first time the defendants have come to their attention. Duffy has previous IRA terrorist-related convictions from 1993, when he was sentenced to 5 years for the false imprisonment and assault of an off-duty UDR soldier, as well as attempting to elicit information useful to terrorists. Reynolds is currently awaiting trial for his suspected involvement in other terrorist-related activity as part of Operation Arbatia, when police carried out an investigation in 2020 into meetings held by suspected members of the new IRA leadership. In a statement, the PSNI said, "We remain totally committed to investigating and disrupting terrorist activity. Our aim will always be to protect communities and keep people safe from harm."
One of Northern Ireland's most senior coroners has told UTV that families he's met at inquests looking into their loved ones' deaths on our roads will never be the same again.
Joe McCriskin spoke exclusively to UTV in a bid to help raise awareness about the dangers of driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs during the Christmas period. Earlier this month, he held an inquest into the death of a County Down father killed in a one-vehicle crash last December. Our South East reporter, Stuart Robson, has the story.
A second Christmas beckons for a family left devastated by loss. John Hannah was 34 and a father to a son. Last Christmas Eve, he made the decision to get behind the wheel of his car, a decision that would cost him his life. With alcohol and drugs in his system and a mobile phone in his hand, he died after his car collided with a fence in Ballynahinch. At his inquest earlier this month, more details of why he crashed were uncovered.
Taking cocaine and alcohol, there was an element of speed involved, there was definitely an element of carelessness involved. He was using his mobile phone at points to record Snapchat videos up and until the collision. and he had no seatbelt on.
The final pieces of the so-called fatal 5 reasons that lead to costly collisions.
You could tell when his father came along to court and stood up in that courtroom to talk about his son, he said in the court that he couldn't feel any pride for his son because of what had happened. And I mean, that man was brave in coming into that inquest and speaking as well as he did, but you could tell that the heart had been ripped out of that family.
During the Christmas week of 2024, some families received the dreaded news that all fear: the loss of a loved one just days away from when they should be together. Tragedies that have left holes in the lives of those who knew them.
Christmas week last year, that's the 20th of December until the 27th of December, there were 8 deaths on the roads here. Almost as many as any other month of the whole year. And I remember it. I remember getting those phone calls. I remember having to go through the circumstances of those collisions and looking at the details of the people who'd lost their lives.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
To date this year, more than 2,700 people have been arrested for driving on drink or drugs, with 52 people losing their life. A slight decrease on last year, but no less of a warning from one of our most senior coroners.
I mean, the word devastating is used too much sometimes these days, but the families that I've dealt with really have, you know, they will never be the same again. The family will never be the same again. You know, the old cliche that there's a seat less at the table at Christmas. Well, that was the case for at least eight families this time last year. And my message through you is that if we all make a bit of an effort, then that might not be the case this year.
Coroner Joe McCriskin ending that report by Stuart Robson. UTV can reveal the Chief Constable has sacked a senior officer accused of double jobbing for the new legacy body, the ICRIR. It's understood he was dismissed by John Boucher at a special case hearing last month.
It centres on claims an officer was too sick to work for the police but was able to allegedly do so for the ICRIR, raking in 2 salaries and sparking internal and criminal investigations. Here's our crime and security correspondent Sharon O'Neill with this exclusive report.
Helping the new legacy body right the wrongs of the past. That was part of the job description for a senior police officer who took up a new position. The problem? He hadn't given up the day job.
Police are supposed to uphold the highest standards and set the right example. But tonight, UTV can reveal details of a new scandal to hit the PSNI, one that has resulted in the suspension of a senior officer.
And it was UTV that first broke the news.
The inspector who investigated other colleagues for wrongdoing is now accused of exactly that. Double jobbing with the new legacy body, the ICRIR, allegedly taking home 2 salaries.
The seasoned officer had worked for the unit which investigated alleged misconduct within the PSNI, but recently found himself at the centre of an investigation. Signed off on the sick from his police job, it's claimed he was well enough to take up a role with the new legacy unit. Furious police bosses vowed to investigate.
When it comes to any form of misconduct that flies in the face of the values of the organisation, of course we're disappointed about it, but the appropriate response in line with the misconduct regulations is to seek to restore the public's confidence by robustly dealing with it, and you can be assured that that's what we will do.
So, what have police done since we first told you about this story back in March? The officer suspended. Well-placed sources have told us that suspension has turned into a dismissal. The officer has been sacked by the Chief Constable after a special case hearing last month. It's not clear if he'll appeal. There was also a criminal investigation with the officer facing possible fraud charges. In October, a decision was taken not to prosecute on the grounds there was insufficient evidence to provide a reasonable prospect of conviction. But in a new twist, this from the Public Prosecution Service. Subsequent to that decision, new evidence was received and a review of the decision not to prosecute is currently being conducted in accordance with the Code for Prosecutors. We tried to contact the officer involved but got no response. The PSNI says due to ongoing legal matters it would be inappropriate to comment. The ICRIR does not comment on employment issues. Clear, this case far from over. Sharon O'Neill, UTV Live.
A man in his 40s has been attacked and knocked unconscious twice in the last month. The first attack happened in the Old Park Road area of Belfast at around 11 p.m. on the 18th of November. The victim lost consciousness after being tackled to the ground by a group of men. The same man was attacked again in the same area last Saturday. Detectives are appealing for information.
The Justice Minister, Naomi Long, has confirmed PSNI officers will receive a recommended pay increase of 4.2% next month. The Minister has said the pay increase will be applied to January salaries for officers and follows a funding allocation from the Department of Finance as well as savings made within the Justice Department.
A man and two women from Belfast have appeared in court accused of stealing a car belonging to the family of Dahi McGowan. They are Jolene Cush, who's 43 and from New Barnsley Drive, 35-year-old Dervla Conlon and 23-year-old Brandon Lee O'Neill, both of Glenalina Gardens. The car containing Dahi's wheelchair was taken from his home on Wednesday. They'll all appear in court again next month.
Still to come on this evening's programme. Parkview Special School brings us the magic of Christmas.
Time now to look at tonight's ITV News at 6:30.
Yes, with all the details, here's Lucrezia Millerini.
Coming up on the ITV Evening News, a woman and her secret lover jailed for 19 years after they plotted to kill her husband. Hundreds of surfers paid tribute to the Bondi Beach shooting victims as Australia announces a gun buyback scheme. And ready for a fight, former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua takes on YouTuber Jake Paul in one of the most controversial bouts in modern boxing. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Now, patients at the Royal Belfast Hospital for Sick Children got an early Christmas present earlier with a very special visit by the Belfast Giants.
Yes, fans flocked to donate soft toys to the team's annual festive teddy toss last week. And today, the Giants delivered the goods to some very worthy children. Barbara McCann was there.
Skidded in by Bass, wrist shot, oh, in the back of the net!
Marcus Ericsson with the tip, and here you come the teddy bears!
The first goal of the night for the Belfast Giants sent fans into a frenzy and teddy bears and soft toys flying. The Teal Army's annual toss onto the ice netted more than 1,500 of them. And this morning, armed with stuffed toys, team members walked the wards with early Christmas presents for the children spending the festive period there.
It's a real joy, and people are very kind, and seeing the team coming up and giving out the teddy bears, and you can see it really lightens the children's mood and makes them feel much better. And the play therapy team here in the Children's Hospital worked very hard to try and make it as nice as possible, but the children are very good. They just get on with it. It's sometimes more difficult for the parents to be here, but we try our very best to make sure everybody has a nice Christmas.
Nice to see him come early. He's a busy guy.
This is just one of the hospitals across Northern Ireland where the Belfast Giants are spreading some Yuletide joy.
When I was signing with Belfast, it was community was something that was sort of emphasized, and I think as a player you kind of do your research into what the team does, not just at the rink but I think the impact that you can have on your community, and I think Belfast was a spot that I feel like is super involved, and so it's I've been here for 4 or 5 months now, so we've been able to do a ton of stuff, and it's a great way to interact with fans and obviously the kids today, and get out there and do something that is above skating around on the ice.
Under doctor's orders to rest up, spending it on the ward here can still bring some festive cheer. Barbara McCann, UTV Live, Belfast.
Lots of happy faces there.
Yes, fantastic. Time for sport.
Yes, here's Will.
The atmosphere is electric. John Mulholland Motors, sponsors of UTV Sport.
Good evening. Rory McIlroy capped off an incredible year as he picked up the BBC Sports Personality of the Year award last night. McIlroy completed the career Grand Slam when he won the Masters at Augusta in April and played a key role in Europe's victory over the USA at the Ryder Cup. He's the first golfer to win the award since Sir Nick Faldo in 1989.
I remember growing up looking forward to this night, watching it on TV, seeing who was going to win. It was always a big part of the run-up to Christmas. So just very honoured to get my hands on this trophy behind me, and hopefully I can challenge to get it again next year. But thank you, everyone. It truly is an honour, and have a great evening. Thank you.
Well, Ulster face their first interprovincial clash of the season tonight when they take on Leinster in Dublin. Having been blighted by injuries, Jacob Stockdale is enjoying a resurgence this campaign. He's been speaking to our sports correspondent, Ruth Gorman.
Jacob Stockdale has seen it all in rugby. From his debut season with Ireland in 2018, which saw him break the Six Nations try-scoring record, to season-ending injuries and being the nearly man just missing out on a place in the last World Cup. Throughout it all, Stockdale has continued to work hard and bounce back from every adversity. After playing against Japan in the autumn series, he's ready to fight for his place again in Andy Farrell's Ireland squad for next year's Six Nations.
It was mixed feelings kind of coming out of it. Obviously, I was delighted to kind of get into the Japan game, and it didn't really go my way, a lot of it, but I felt like, I kind of did what I needed to do and could do to try and pull out a good performance, but, some days it just doesn't go your way. I suppose the other side of it is, I really wanted more games. Being in the stand, watching that New Zealand game in Chicago and the Australian game and the South African one, they're the games you really want to be a part of.
Did you have that conversation with Andy at all, or do you have the opportunity to have that talk with him?
Yeah, Faz is pretty good, for whenever you're not in the team to kind of sit down and have a chat with you, and yeah, ultimately he's the one with the decision at the end of the day.
What sort of feedback did you get from him?
I think with regards to the Japan game, he said I think he just felt like I didn't really throw myself into it early on in the game, and I think that was maybe a fair comment. But yeah, outside of that, it was all very positive. Just I'm going well and just keep doing what I'm doing.
The opportunity to impress starts tonight against Leinster at the Aviva Stadium as Ulster start their Interpro series over the next few weeks.
These games are massive, not just looking forward to the Six Nations, but they're massive for us as a club, for our season. You can very easily knock yourself out of contention in these kind of December, January games, so I suppose for me personally, it's making sure that I'm playing as best I possibly can, throughout all the Interpros and the Challenge Cup games.
Apart from 5 points tonight, Stockdale has another big request on his list for Santa.
I'm getting a Nintendo Switch, actually. I've 2 kids, but I'm becoming a kid myself. It's just for our travel. We travel so much, I need some form of entertainment on the planes, so yeah,
You've moved on from Lego to Nintendo Switches now?
Yeah, I'm just not growing up.
You've always been a kid, Jacob?
Yeah, I think you might be right, in fairness.
Well, Slaughtneil's hurlers face Loughrea this weekend in the All-Ireland semi-final in Dublin. They are hoping to make the final for the first time. Meanwhile, it's the end of an era for Donegal as their captain Patrick McBurney announced his retirement from inter-county football earlier this week. Daniel Duffy reports.
The end of an era. Donegal's most decorated player Patrick McBrearty has called it a day. In 15 years, he won 7 Ulster Championships and an All-Ireland. A player who gave so much for his county.
He's been there for the last 14-15 years, been there the whole time I've been there, so it's going to be a big change and we'll just have to adapt to it, but he's been a phenomenal player for Donegal, a brilliant career and really pivotal figure over the last number of years, and of course was captain there for the last couple of years as well, and just really a good way with players and the management and dealing with everything that goes on and behind the scenes.
For Donegal, 2025 had its highs and lows, from joy and Clonus to heartache at Croke Park.
I suppose it's been a good year for Donegal, definitely. Back-to-back Ulster Championships, you don't do that very often. I suppose the All-Ireland finals definitely disappointing. Just didn't show up, I suppose, to our full potential on the day. And yeah, looking back on it, it's difficult, but you have to park that now and look forward now to 2026 and hopefully go right up through the ladder again and get up to that stage again.
So as Patrick leaves the stage, it will be up to the next generation to take Donegal back to the promised land. Daniel Duffy, UTV Live.
Well, former Down GAA player Charlie Smith has signed a permanent deal to join the main roster of the New Orleans Saints ahead of their game with the New York Jets on Sunday. He's impressed on his 3 promotions from the practice squad and has now agreed a 3-year deal to become their new kicker. Josh Rock is through to the second round of the World Darts Championship at Alexander Palace after beating Gemma Hayter 3-1 this afternoon. Darryl Gurney begins his campaign this evening against Bo Reeves. There's one game in the Irish Premiership this evening as leaders Coleraine host Glentoran at the Showgrounds. Larne, who are second on goal difference, are at Crusaders tomorrow. Oran Kearney takes charge of his first home game as Ballymena manager when they host Carrick. That's all your sports. Have a great weekend.
The atmosphere is electric. John Mulholland Motors, sponsors of UTV Sport.
This week in our Going the Extra Mile podcast, Carol Jordan meets Marcus Christie. He talks about how he wanted to honour his mother, the former Lord Lieutenant of County Antrim, Joan Christie. Yes, Marcus has been fundraising for the Northern Ireland Air Ambulance, which has led to him being named the UK's top fundraiser.
I'm back to her memory, and she was so dedicated to public life and doing charitable work that I want to continue that. And I personally, maybe it's a type of therapy, but I'm finding it really rewarding to do it. Yes, I can't walk properly anymore, but who needs to walk? We're fine. But it's just
so
like
the next challenge might be rolling, or
yeah, probably just like lie on a pool for a day or something. But yeah, so I think if I find it really rewarding to do it, and I'll continue to do it in some capacity with the charity.
Yes, you can listen to that wherever you get your podcasts or watch on ITVX, where you can also catch up on UTV Live and the rest of our programmes. Now, with just 6 sleeps left, can you believe it, Sarah? Yes. The countdown to Christmas is well and truly on.
And what's in store weather-wise? Louise has the details.
Whatever the weather, there's a warm outlook. UTV Weather, sponsored by the Grant Arona R290 heat pump.
Hello there. Good evening. We had a few blustery, hefty showers across western areas this morning. 1 or 2 brighter breaks developed through the afternoon, but over the next couple of days our weather will remain rather changeable at times. Showers merging to longer spells of rain, a few glimmers of sunshine here and there though, but the blustery, brisk winds will continue to blow through as we head through the weekend as low pressure continues to dominate our weather. Remaining in charge, we do have a brief ridge keeping things settled overnight tonight into tomorrow, but then tomorrow evening we see an area of rain pushing in from the west with some heavy downpours on that, and the winds will remain fairly blustery as well. Tonight the brisk winds will slowly start to ease down, staying largely dry for the most part. We have a few areas of clouds starting to push in, 1 or 2 showers arriving in across eastern areas as we head towards dawn, but staying frost free with temperatures holding up around 5 or 6 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow then gets off to a bright and blustery start across eastern areas. We have 1 or 2 showers pushing through, sunny spells, then thicker cloud pushes in as we head through the afternoon. That's ahead of a band of rain arriving in tomorrow evening and into the overnight period. Temperatures tomorrow reaching highs of 9 or 10 degrees Celsius, and there is a risk of some coastal gales, winds gusting 40 to 45 miles per hour along the coasts. Across the rest of Ireland, a number of warnings in place. A yellow warning for strengthening winds, rain pushing east through the day, some heavy downpours there, becoming cloudier across the southwest, behind that with a number of showers following in, and temperatures reaching highs of 10 or 11 degrees Celsius. So that rain will arrive in tomorrow evening, pushing east into Sunday. We have some patchy light rain and drizzle at times, cloudier and gloomy through Monday and Tuesday, ahead of high pressure building in as we head towards Christmas Eve. That's the latest. Bye-bye.
UTV Weather, sponsored by the Grant Arona R290 heat pump.
Now we've got the UTV Live Christmas special from 7 o'clock.
Yes, here's Mrs. Claus herself, Pammy.
Yes, UTV Life is celebrating Christmas here in the beautiful surroundings of Larchfield Estate, where I'll be joined by the legendary Daniel O'Donnell, and we'll have music from him too. Soprano Amy Hewitt will be telling me about working with Orchestra La Foyer des Artistes, and Rita's been sampling the local Christmas market. That's UTV Life tonight at 7 from Larchfield.
How cosy does that armchair look? Now, don't forget our Saturday newsletter delivered to your inbox first thing in the morning. Scan the QR code on your screen now, I think it's there, and you can sign up to get fantastic materials showcasing our best journalism.
We've got our final amazing Christmas choir singing us out. The programme is Parkview Special School in Lisburn with Silent Night. Have a lovely evening, a great weekend, and a very happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas.